You're listening to Parasearch Radio, news, views and reviews from the world of the paranormal from across the UK and beyond. Find us on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web. Parasearch UK Radio. Parasearch Radio, broadcasting to the UK and beyond.
The views and opinions expressed by presenters and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Parasearch Radio or its affiliates and sponsors. Listener discretion is advised.
So, what's the plan?
Right. We take Pete's car, we drive over to Mum's, we go in, take care of Philip.
I'm so sorry, Philip.
Then we grab Mum, we go over to Liz's place, pole up, have a cup of tea, and wait for all this to blow over.
Why have we got to go to Liz's?
Because we do.
She dumped you.
I have to know if she's all right.
Why?
Because I love her.
All right, gay. I'm not staying there, though.
Why not?
If we hole up, I want to be somewhere familiar, I want to know where the exits are, and I want to be allowed to smoke.
Okay. Take Pete's car, go round Mum's, go in, deal with Philip.
Sorry, Philip.
Grab Mum, go to Liz's, pick her up, bring her back here, have a cup of tea, and wait for all this to blow over.
Perfect.
No, wait, we can't bring her back here.
Why not?
Well, it's not exactly safe, is it?
Yeah. Look at the state of it.
Where's safe? Where's familiar?
Where can I smoke?
Take car, go to Mum's, kill Phil, sorry, grab Liz, go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all this to blow over. How's that for a slice of fried gold?
Yeah, boy!
So, we're going to the Winchester, Paul.
Yeah. We're live from the Winchester tonight.
We are live from the Winchester tonight. Good evening, everybody. This is the Pop-Up Show. Last week, we looked at how you could survive a horror movie. This week, we're doing how to survive a zombie apocalypse. Well...
Dun, dun, dun.
And we're going to the Winchester. That's where we're going, isn't it, Paul? We've decided this already.
Mine's a pint, and I'll have some hog lumps.
Hog lumps. Okay, so what's the plan of action? We have a zombie apocalypse laid out before us. What is the right thing to do in a zombie apocalypse? Now, we have all watched films galore about zombie apocalypses. Apocalypses? Oh, that word. So, we need a plan. Clearly, they had a plan. We need a plan. What's our plan?
Go into the pub and wait for it all to blow over.
Well, the pubs aren't that great these days.
No, I know, but it's got a deadlock, and the Winchester's got a gun above the door.
That's true. It had the gun factor. Now, this actually, when I researched this. I do love to do a bit of research, particularly weird research. Guns are quite important in a zombie apocalypse, but we'll get to that. So, first of all, let's have a look at society. Let's have a look at how quickly will society deteriorate in a zombie apocalypse.
Well, judging by some of the comments I got on my Facebook page, they're going to go very quickly.
Yeah, I think it would. I think it would deteriorate really, really quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Apparently, it depends on 2 factors. See, I don't just do research. I mean, serious research. This is, guys, tonight. I mean, I've really taken this to the limit on how to survive a zombie apocalypse. I'm all over this. That's all I can say. I actually think about these kind of things in my spare time.
You have spare time? You're not you're not working too hard then?
Well, no, I obviously have too much spare time to think about this. In fact, just a little side story. I work with a lovely lady called Amanda. She's one of my friends. I actually work with her, and we actually have lengthy discussions about how we would survive a zombie apocalypse.
Oh, how the winter nights must fly by.
Over a bottle of wine or 2. Not at work, obviously. And we go into depth. We've really thought about this. This is not just like, we actually think about this. So anyway, how long does society break down is the point we were at. Well, there are 2 main factors on this. First of all, the threat to the public and how that's portrayed by the media. Because if it's overhyped by the media, no matter what level of threat it is, the public panic immediately. We see it all the time with situations that happen that aren't zombie apocalypses. Do you know what I mean? And we see that the panic that the public take on, or the fear factor, it actually happens quite quickly, doesn't it?
It does, and I don't think, to be honest, in reality, I don't think that would actually happen. You might get a few, like, minority amount of people panic, but I don't think a majority would, to be fair.
Have you not seen how the public react when we get the threat of snow?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. It's like a zombie apocalypse is about to happen when we get snow.
Yeah, but most of the British people just go, no, it's snowing outside, I'll get a day off work, that's it.
No, if you've clearly not been to a supermarket the night before, when the forecast is for snow, you clearly haven't.
Well, okay, yeah, but then again, that's the minority, isn't it? It's not everybody.
Well, that's
I mean,
true.
even Christmas and other, like, holidays, the shops are closed for one day, and you still get people out there mad over it.
Well, exactly. You think there's a zombie apocalypse, you'd get double trouble.
No, you just wait until it's all blown over and then go down and get it.
That's what you'd do.
Yeah.
The majority of the British, or the majority of the public, not just the British, but the worldwide public, would be rushing to get supplies like food, fuel, and that apparently, because, and I tell you why, I've gone quite deep into this. This has been looked at by scientists. They've done simulations. They've done simulations about what would actually happen, and this would happen really, really quickly. To get supplies, fuel, and food in, that would happen really quickly.
You see it on The Walking Dead in particular, right? You've got a big town, and yeah, as you said, everyone would be out going on the streets and going to the supermarkets, but then that's when the zombies will just have a field day.
Oh, yeah.
Give it a couple of weeks after that, there's no more food for any of the zombies because they've just increased their numbers. So they're going to slowly depart the city and go out into the country. And then by that time, you've got the whole town, the city, to yourself.
No, see, it doesn't work like that.
Well, it will, won't it?
They mull around groaning.
Yeah, but there's going to come a time when they're not going to do that and they're going to go out looking for food.
Yeah, but by then you might have starved to death.
No, because it'll only be a couple of weeks. Easy.
Couple of weeks, I love that. But then there's the point of the government admitting that there's a problem that they're trying to sort out.
Well, the government's always got a problem they're trying to sort out.
Apparently, the people in the streets would see that the government is overwhelmed by the problem, and the society, once that happens, once they reach that moment of the government admitting there's a problem, and then you'd have the army on the streets and stuff like that, society would then literally, break down really, really quickly once it hit that point.
I think, yeah, I think it would, because you wouldn't know what to do, and you're succumbing to the army then, aren't you? They're the
you're
ones
trusting,
that take
you're trusting. I mean, I know people go, I don't trust the government and all this, but in this kind of scenario, you revert back to the power of the government.
Sheep.
Yeah, you go into your sheep modality, don't you? And
Yeah.
I mean, the majority we're talking about, not the minority here. So what you would end up doing is you'd end up doing what you were told to do, particularly if you've got soldiers with guns mulling around. And then if you saw those kind of people start to be overcome and overrun by zombies, then that's sort of when it starts to become like every man for himself.
Yeah, and those you're going to be put into a camp of some sort, and that's going to be the main focus for a zombie attack. Because that's food for the zombies then, isn't it? So they're going to be centred on attacking them areas.
Wow.
So they'll leave the cities and go for those camps.
Well, one question that was asked was, once society does break down, are you actually better off in a city or in the countryside? Now, these actually came from, I don't know if you know the term prepper.
No.
It's an American term, but there are people in the UK that do this too, where they actually are prepared for a major disaster or a zombie apocalypse or, a nuclear...
Okay.
A nuclear... warfare, and where they literally are self-sufficient and they're called preppers. So they have, food supplies and hunting supplies and, all that sort of thing. They know exactly what they're going to do, and they've got the methods to defend their homestead. And you see it on America all the time, right? So that is the multi-million-dollar question. Where are you better off? Are you better off in a city or in the countryside? Well, the prepper himself said... the main thing to notice is, what do you have? Is it a slow build-up or is it instant? In a zombie attack, it probably would be a slow build-up because obviously I think it would start off slow and then, like you say, sort of like gain momentum.
Yeah.
So the build-up would be slow, but it'll give you time to assess that situation and see where you'd be better off. Now, the chances are, if you're just a member of the public, you probably haven't really considered this. You're not really prepared for this. You haven't managed to go out and buy your hunting knives and your tent and your paraphernalia that you're going to need out on
to be fair, all you need is to be surrounded by people that you can run faster than.
Just so you can throw them in the path, Paul. That's not fair.
That works. It keeps you alive. Every man for himself, believe me.
Honestly, because in the city, there would be too many people but not enough supplies. Oh, the dog's off.
Yeah, he's agreeing with me entirely.
I was so unprepared. I fell asleep. And I was so unprepared, I literally have not sorted anything out, like the dog or anything. So
terrible.
carry on talking, Paul. I'm just going to shut my dog up.
But yeah, I mean, I can sort of understand that a lot of people will want to go to the country or even stay in the city, to be fair. And I think it's just a case of holding up somewhere for a little while and just literally waiting till it blows over. And
you're such a Shaun of the Dead guy.
I am. And it makes perfect sense. As I said, after a while, they're going to leave the city to look for more food. And it's going to expand from the city and they're going to go out into the country.
I'm not staying with you. I'm just putting this out there, Paul. I've already had this planned. Like I said, I have plans in place for zombie apocalypse. And there's no way I'm staying with you if you're going to just sit it out and hope for the best. Because the odds are actually against you from the start in a city because you've got, like I said, too many people, not enough supplies.
Well, yeah, okay, but...
And you are not going to be able to... You can't find your local takeaway because they're going to be, like, obviously dead.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
No, I know. But you could always... You can just sit it out for a little while and then wait until it's clear and then make your move.
No, I don't think so. I think it's better to get out into the country and let the cities fight it out because in the country, at least you've got self-survival.
Yeah, but then that's where the zombies are going.
No, that's going to take a while. And if you go far enough away, they're only going to go where the food supply is, aren't they? In the country, there's no food supply.
No, they will be, because people like you will be going out into the country. So they're going to be chasing you.
It's okay if you're in America, because there's an awful lot of open, wide spaces. So, you could not see another person for like years. Whereas in the UK, it kind of would get quite crowded in the country, to be fair.
It would, absolutely. And I just think it's safer, to be fair, on the sea, on a boat.
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm surrounded by boats.
Yeah, well, we're fine, because we live on an island, so we've got like loads of boats we could get into the sea with. Yeah, and I mean, just down the road from you, there's like a marina and stuff, isn't there? So.
Oh, I've got plenty of, like I said, I've got catamarans and all sorts down my way.
Yeah, see? So that's where we'll be going. Sail.
We'll sit out in the channel somewhere. Now, because if you decide to try and stay and fight to survive, you're going to perish, because it's a pandemic situation.
Yep.
Because it's a pandemic situation, it's biologically. And it's going to affect... I love this. I love the fact that they worked all this out. It's going to affect about 30% of the population to start with. This would easily spread and reach an overwhelming level. And this is even more true if you're in a built-up area of the city. Because the more people there, the more germs, the more viruses are going to spread, and the more zombies are going to start biting people. So actually in a city, you're probably in a lot more danger than anywhere else. That's what Prepper said.
Yeah, they think about it way too hard.
Nah, see, you've got to think about these kind of things. You have to do it. It's
not going to happen, is it?
It is going to happen, which is why we're talking about it. Right, so do you bug out alone, or do you travel with a group of people?
As I said, the group of people will have to run a lot slower than me.
I think it would actually be better to have a hand-picked crew.
Yeah.
You need someone who can forage.
And someone you can trust. And, yeah.
You've got to have, like, the mad one. Who you just let loose. If you come across a bunch of zombies, just goes crazy and has them.
Yeah.
Has them big time.
Yeah. Someone with a samurai sword.
Well, that would be me.
Okay.
Never run out of ammunition. But you've got a sword, mate. I'm telling you, I'm Michonne. I'm rocking that look.
Yeah.
Leather waistcoat, like
boot polish for your face, yeah.
Well, I can't do that bit, but I can rock out the persona of Michonne, I'm sure. Except I think I'm a lot more mouthy than Michonne actually is. I was thinking about it again. Me and my friend were talking about this. What character do you think you're most like in The Walking Dead? I actually said, I think I'm like Michonne, and she cried with laughter, and she went, "Nah, you're a Carol." I was like, really? I don't think I'm a Carol at all. I'm not sweet and lovely and can put on a lovely, innocent, like, kind of fit into society kind of thing.
Actually, no, I could believe that, because it is like you're all like innocent, you behave innocent, and then if you get annoyed, you just rip their face off. I can understand. I can believe that of you, yeah.
Oh, well, you see a different side to me than most people see, though, Paul, to be fair. So maybe I'm a little of both. But I am a lot noisier than Michonne, definitely. I have got a gob on me that,
Well, you're from Canby, so...
I'm from Canby. I'm an Essex girl.
Yeah, exactly.
I went all ghetto there.
Says it all.
Right, so going it alone is not a great idea, because if something happens to you, like you get a twisted ankle, like you have something that you need those people to back it up. So, but you need to hand pick your crew, as it were. So you can't just go, oh, well, like, going to take my friend down the road. If she ain't capable of killing a zombie, you're done. Yeah. You are done.
Very much.
So what about your children and pets? Do you take your children and pets with you, or do you just say, sod it, abandon them?
No, you can't control how noisy your pets are going to be, so you leave them at home.
Well, me particularly with my dog, that is bantam fodder right there. I'm telling you now. He would bark and run away, but he'd be dead within 5 minutes of a zombie apocalypse. Sorry, Marley.
Yeah,
He's looking at me with big reproachful eyes at that.
Yeah, so you could either take him, and then if you are chased by the zombies, you could just throw him at them.
Throw him at them.
Yeah.
That's a good plan.
And then that would give you enough time to get away.
He wouldn't be any good if you're trying to hole up somewhere and be quiet.
And to be fair, kids the same, I think.
Well...
You'd have to do that as well.
Again, I've had this conversation. I have 2 boys. I have one that's like a lovely, sensitive soul, academic. So actually, knowledge-wise, he'd probably be quite good.
Yeah.
As plants to eat and stuff.
I mean, I watched one of those episodes from The Walking Dead, and as they were trying to escape through the middle of the crowded zombies, you had a little kid calling out for his mum. No, I'm sorry, he deserved to get turned into a zombie. Just for that.
Yeah, but he was a little kid. I mean, bear in mind, my kids are a bit older.
Yeah, but he was old enough to know, right, that you're in the crowded zombies. He had to shut up, but he still insisted on calling for his mum. No, he deserved that.
Oh, you're so harsh.
Yeah. Well, it's a zombie apocalypse. You've got to be harsh, haven't you? Otherwise, you're not going to survive.
Okay. Well, like I say, I've got 2. I've got one that's quite intelligent, so he might be quite good on the old foraging front and how to skin a rabbit and that sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Because I'd get him swatting up on stuff like that before we hit out for the country. And then I've got the other one who's a little bit like Carl. He'd be a bit psychopathic. I think I'll go, Leo, the zombie. Go, start attacking it. And relish it. He's like a baby Negan.
Yeah, I could, yeah.
Mummy's in danger, Leo. Off you go.
Well, that'd be quite incredibly useful for you then, wouldn't they?
So I actually think my 2 kids would be quite useful. I'd like to think, anyway. My 2 kids would be quite useful, but my dog, no.
But, I mean, if they do start getting on your nerves, you can then throw them at the zombies.
So children and pets aren't... I'm glossing that because that's just cruel. Just throw your kids at the zombies. Right, so it's not necessarily a disadvantage taking your children, depending on your children.
Yeah, if they're
a liability, bantam fodder them.
Absolutely.
Survival of the fittest and all that. Yeah. Right? If you think they could be useful... Selfish. It's such a selfish way of looking at it. If you think your children could be useful, if you think your children could be useful, then have a go. Take them with you. If not, then there's still bantam fodder.
Exactly.
But you'd have to harden your heart because at some point you might have to kill your baby zombie child because it got turned into a zombie because it got bitten.
Yeah. Exactly.
Now, I love this, right? What pets could you take, right? The prepper. I love the prepper. He was great. Okay. He said, pets like rabbits, take, because you can breed them and use them for food when you've set up your camp.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Breed like rabbits, that makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Dogs are good at warning you if you've got impending danger, but having said that, they could attract zombie if they start barking too much.
Yeah.
Could attract said zombies, so that's not necessarily good, yeah?
Yeah.
So, again, judge it depending on the dog. If you've got a good dog that behaves itself and doesn't bark at every tiny little car that goes past or person
yeah, but then
that walks past.
That's the point of putting out some warning signs, don't you? Warning signals. A bit of string with loads of hubcaps attached to it. Because when the zombies walk into it, they're going to make the noise where they are.
True. So you don't need a dog.
No, so you don't need a dog.
Budgies and cats, they're a waste of time. That's what the prepper has said. This prepper has really thought about this. If you've got a budgie or a cat, no, don't even bother. Don't even bother with that.
No, cats will look after themselves and off they go anyway. I mean, they're quite independent and intelligent animals anyway, so they'll be all right on their own.
Yeah.
But budgies, you don't get much meat on a budgie, do you?
Well, I think there's no meat on a budgie. Not that I've ever tried one, but
So, no, I can understand that. Useless to take your budgie or canary.
I agree. Right now, if you're in America even, I'll tell you, my brain is not with it yet. if you're in America, you have more chance of survival than you do if you're in the UK.
Well, yeah, that's the reason, because they've got more vast countryside than we have.
And they have more guns. You need a gun in a zombie apocalypse.
No, you don't need a gun. That's bad. Bad idea, that is. It's the same thing with the dog, right? You start shooting zombies, you're going to attract more zombies to the noise. You want a baseball bat. That's what you really need, with barbed wire attached to the end, so you could just take the heads off easy. And it's quiet.
You are a bit like Negan, aren't you? This is a side to Paul that we don't normally see, everybody. He is actually Negan.
This is why I don't like doing those zombie apocalypse nights and days and...
Because they don't give you a baseball bat.
No, they're not realistic. They say these things are realistic. No, I'm sorry, they're not. In a real zombie apocalypse, I'm going to be battering people's heads in. All right? You can't do that on one of those nights. So it's not realistic enough. So I don't do them.
Oh, my God. I reckon I'd be awesome in one of them with my gun. My laser gun, because it's a laser. It does it on like a laser, doesn't it? Is it? I'm assuming
you know what?
it's
I
like
really
laser
don't
combat.
know. But then,
or is it paint? Or is it paint bullets?
I don't know. But in a real zombie apocalypse, around with a gun, I'm going to be running around with a baseball bat, battering their heads in.
I'm going to rock it out like Lara Croft with double swords across my back and loads of guns and ammo belts and
but then the guns...
like one of those bullet chain things across my shoulder and looking awesome. That's what I'm going to do.
You see it in The Walking Dead, right? You'll see them. That they've got this big thing about don't shoot the zombies because you're creating noise and you're going to attract them. Zombies come along and then they start shooting them. So it's like pot kettle. Just no.
Yeah, but it's so cool.
No, just baseball bat, batter in the heads, and then you get one zombie as opposed to 50.
As opposed to 50 zombies. But if you're in the city, Paul, you've got millions of zombies.
Not after a few weeks, because they're gone out into the countryside.
And that's when I need my fire weapons, you see.
Yeah, see, no, I'll be all right.
Firearms, even.
Mm.
But it is a true fact in this simulation that they did of real-life zombie apocalypse that you would have more chance of surviving in America than you do in the UK. And also, there are lots of little towns that when you're like foraging for supplies and stuff, you've got more chance of finding unscathed caches of supplies.
Yeah. See, I'm not entirely... I don't entirely believe that you stand more chance surviving in the US than you do in the UK. Because, okay, we've got the size difference, but we've got a lot less people.
No, per acre, if you look at it, you don't look at it as in size of the country. You've got to look at it as the amount of people in that country to acreage and then divide it into an average, and then it gives you an idea of actually we're more compact in the UK for size person ratio, believe it or not.
So we've got more people in the UK than America.
Per size ratio.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So we don't actually have more people than America squeezed onto the UK, but per ratio,
right, so we
do.
So we've still got a lot less then, and most we're no, I think most of the British people survive anyway. To be fair, because we're awesome.
Thank you, Richard. It's actually called population density.
Yeah,
those were the words I was searching for in my just woke up brain. I'm dead already because I've just woke up. I'm like, what the hell happened? Oh, a zombie apocalypse. Hold on a minute. It takes me 3 hours to wake up properly.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you hold up in your house? This is a question. Do you hold up in your house? Now, you can hide inside buildings, running around smashing in zombie skulls with a baseball bat is actually a terrible idea. Cornell University researchers. This is where the simulation of a zombie apocalypse came from. We're going to take a quick break and then we'll talk to you all about what Cornell University actually came up with in regards to this. So we'll be right back after this.
Hello. Harry Price here. Good evening. If there's nothing myself and everybody else enjoy here on the other side more is the sit back and relax and listen to Parasearch Radio with its paranormal news, views and reviews from across the UK and beyond. Make sure to find out more about them on Facebook, Twitter and the World Wide Web, whatever they are, to keep up to date with all their broadcasts throughout the week. And I hope you enjoy them as much as we do over here. Hello? Is anybody there?
Welcome back to the Pop-Up Show. Tonight we are teaching you all how to survive a zombie apocalypse. Now we've sort of come to the conclusion that you're not safe anywhere, whether you're in the country, whether you're in the city, that the society would break down really quickly, and that guns, if you're in America, it's a kind of a good idea because it kills more zombies, but they do attract noise. They do make noise, so they attract more zombies. So a baseball bat is where Paul's going to go. So, Paul.
Yeah.
Apparently, your idea of hiding in a building is probably the best way to survive, or to, in this simulation from Cornell University, they actually said you should actually run for the country areas, particularly in sparsely populated mountains.
I think initially
we have lots of sparsely populated mountain ranges in the UK, don't we?
Loads. No, I think initially it'd be a case of staying where you are and let the violent people and the outbreak take care of itself for a little while, and then that's going to eventually die down because they're all going to end up being zombies anyway. And then once they're zombified, then they make it easier to get through and kill them and escape. Yeah. So you can wait it out to a degree, and then as long as you're keeping an eye on outside, and you can see when the best time is to make your run for it. And I think that's probably the way to go. Who was it? Richard in the chat room, he said that you'll be safer on a continental landmass opposed to an island. Well, I mean, yeah, you could escape towards the sea initially, and then find yourself a little deserted island somewhere.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Or if it's a small island and we've not a high population density on it, wipe out all the zombies and then you're pretty much safe there, aren't you? But you would have to know how to survival. You'd have to know.
Well, I don't think you would be too safe on an island either, to be fair, because if you think about it, I think it was what was the prequel to The Walking Dead? Fear the Walking Dead.
Oh, I love that.
They tried getting on an island, and there was, I assume, boats out in the sea that had the zombie people on there anyway, and they fall over, and they're floating in the sea as zombies.
Oh, they're being washed up on the island.
And then they'll be washed up on the island.
Yeah, but it's easier to control that, surely.
It depends when they wash up.
Or it depends on what size boat had all these zombies on it. I mean, if you had a ocean liner that was full of zombie people, and you had 3 or 4, I don't know how many people these boats hold, thousands, isn't it? Yeah,
but then, it could be that, or they could have just fallen into the sea or the docks or
true.
Anything and just be floating around on the sea anyway.
And they're even more yucky because they're waterlogged zombies.
Exactly.
They're not just land zombies, they're waterlogged zombies. And we all know what a waterlogged zombie looks like if you watch The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
The waterlogged ones are even more gruesome.
I do believe there was a film, I think it was Day of the Dead, which was a George A. Romero film. And those zombies, because obviously they were dead, they weren't breathing. So to get into the city, they built a moat around their city. Not the zombies, to protect themselves. Yeah. And these zombies walked up to the edge of the water and just kept falling in, and they'd sink to the bottom and just walk along the bottom because they don't need to breathe, do they? Because they're dead.
Yeah, true.
And that's how they got across. So it'd be the same. It could be the same sort of thing.
Okay.
So you might not necessarily be completely safe on an island.
No, that's true.
Yeah. So there you go. That's blown yours out of the water.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
Cheers for that. Anyway, going back to the simulation, they ran it on a real map of America with 300 million people. using techniques to model real epidemics. And oh dear. They found out that there were 4 states a human person or a person could be in. Human, you're fine. Infected, so you're not quite a zombie, but you're not going to survive it. Zombie, so you're wandering around going, ugh. Yep. Or dead zombie.
Okay,
so they're your 4 states of... I think that's quite logical. Companies spent money doing this. And then given the dynamics of the disease, once the zombies invade more sparsely populated areas, the whole outbreak slows down. So there are fewer humans to bite. So you start creating zombies at a slower rate. So he says, recommending that, excuse me, that people should head for nearby mountains if there is actually a zombie apocalypse. Actually, in the UK, could you imagine, right? We all run for the hills. Bearing in mind, we haven't got that much space or mountain ranges around. There'll be more people actually sitting on the mountain than there would be in the city. So you're probably right, Paul. In the UK, probably is best to sit still and hope for the best for a bit longer. Now, the United States Centres for Disease Control, and more bizarrely, I love this, Bristol City Council provide advice with dealing with reanimated corpses. Nice. I know. How weird is that? Buy handcuffs and a stun gun even. Stun gun? Why would you buy a stun gun?
I don't know.
See, I don't get the handcuffs and stun gun. I get a firearm, a knife, a sword, a baseball bat. I get those, but I don't get why you would buy handcuffs and a stun gun. Stunning them is not going to work, is it? Or you've got all cracked
no,
up.
No, because... Okay, I really don't know.
Okay.
No, I don't know.
Stock up on supplies. America Centers of Disease Control suggests zombie outbreaks are much like any other pandemic, so waiting out periods of acute infection with a big stock of supplies is a good strategy. Paul?
Okay. Yep.
Wiggle your wire is what I would suggest. Wait for the government to find a cure.
My wire's fine.
Oh, okay. According to the CDC plans, they would... Oh, he's dropped out. I'm going to have to just carry on without him for the time being. According to CDC plans, they would conduct an investigation much like any other disease outbreak if zombies did start roaming the streets. So you've got to sit still, basically wait out for the acute infection to pass and then hope to God that the government finds a cure. I wouldn't... To be honest with you, I don't have much faith that they would manage to do that very, very easily, quite honestly. You know, I honestly don't know. I'm flying solo now. Oh, this is scary. Flying solo. So, they also suggest you should buy a protective suit. How exactly a protective suit is going to help, I honestly don't know. All I can say with that one is that's more likely to hinder you. I mean, I can understand you having protective clothing, you know, a bit like a bulletproof jacket kind of thing. But you don't want anything too restricting if you're running around having to kill zombies, do you? You know? Just a thought, you know, just saying. Now, it also suggests you should isolate your family somewhere safe. America Centre for the Disease Control Director, Dr. Ali Khan, notes if you are generally well equipped to deal with the zombie apocalypse, you will be prepared for a hurricane, pandemic, earthquake or a terrorist attack. Having said this, really and truly, your last worry is actually all those other things. If you've got zombies running around, you're more worried about the undead. We'll get on to how you can actually kill the undead in a minute, Richard. Trust me, we're all over it. Now, there's nothing worse than being stuck in a zombie apocalypse. You need some essential supplies on hand. I mean, food, obviously, but there are other things that they recommend that you do. Now, even Amazon has started to sell zombie survival kits. I love it, right? So water is essential, and if you haven't got water, then get some purifying tablets and work out how to actually make water pure when you're actually out in the outback or country or wherever it is that you are. So your water, that's the main one. Food. You want non-perishable food, so your fresh is out. You want your heavy tins to weigh you down and slow you down. Of course you do. But get your foraging skills. You need to know a little bit more how to forage a little bit clearer on this one. You need some medication. You need some medicine. You know, general stuff. Plasters, that sort of thing. First aid kit. It's not really going to help, though, if you get infected by a zombie. Not really. Won't really help. But you need, like, sort of things, basically a survival kit. Now, he's put down on here hygiene. Soap, towels, hand sanitizer. Personally, that's the last thing I'd be worrying about if I'm fighting zombies. It's one of the last things I'd be worrying about. But your utility supplies would need to be batteries, a decent knife, a can opener, torches, and matches. So you need those things. That's what you do need in a zombie apocalypse. Batteries make sense, torches make sense, matches make sense, knife makes sense, can opener definitely. I've had that situation myself recently where my can opener broke. Tried to open it with the knife, nearly sliced my hand off. Now, I went to another site. I went into this quite deeply, as I do with all my subjects. And it says, don't forget to add a phone, keys. Why keys? If you're leaving your house, then do you need a key? You know, I suppose you need a key for the car. You know, I suppose that would be quite important, you know. A phone, why bother when the phone lines will go down? Not quite sure on that one. Gas in the car, that's true. Or at least know how to siphon from other cars. At least do that. And he says a tent might help. So, like, when you're actually out in country, at least you've got a little bit of protection. But that'd be a bit of a hindrance if zombies come across you in the middle of the night, I would think. You know, I would think that might be a little bit of a hindrance. But a tent would be good because we do get a lot of weather in the UK. That might help you. But the main item that will ensure survival is your weapon. So rifles or shotguns tend to be the weapon of choice. But as we've already stated, shotguns and rifles make a lot of noise and that attracts zombies. So knives or axes, machetes, shovels, baseball bats are really, really effective. But don't forget your ammo. If you do have a gun, don't forget you're going to need ammunition. So you need to make sure you know where your ammunition dumps are, as it were. So go and get some more ammo. So you're going to have to know your location. You're going to have a map. So you need to know where food suppliers are, you know, like big warehouses of food. You're going to need to know. I can't believe I'm doing this on my own now. You're going to need to know all these kind of things, not just what you know on a day-to-day basis, like the supermarkets that get wiped out within minutes. So you need to know more warehouses and stuff like that. Now, if you are with a team, you need to have an assembly point. So if you get separated, you know, you need to have an assembly area. You know where you're going, so meet up. And the easiest route to get there. Well, in this list, it says you need to know your closest hospital. Well, I don't think there's any point going to the hospital. Gas station, grocery stores, bank. Why would you need to go to the bank in a zombie apocalypse? Why would you need to do that? You don't need money in a zombie apocalypse. You're too busy fighting for survival. Oh, just going to go and pay a bill. Oh, dear. But the number one rule for this is you must know every exit out of your hometown. And the quickest way to get there, you must have a map, a decent map. Not just a local map, but a big map as well, with lots of writing on it, where you've planned out where all these things are before you've left your home. So if a zombie apocalypse happens, I would suggest a little bit of prep work before you leave, before all these services go down. Do some prep work. So you need to find your big warehouses, your supermarkets, your ammo drop points, you know, where you can get your weapons, routes out, you know, all that sort of things. Richard, yes, perhaps zombies are partial to a bribe. I kind of don't think they're worried if they're dead, though. you know, if you are going to stay in your house, you need to make some modifications to your house. Zombies aren't the cleverest bunch, apparently. Although if you watched World War Z, then they were quite intelligent. They were quite strong and run really fast. So that's, you know, barricades. You need to barricade and block everything on the ground floor. So you need to look at furniture and heavy objects to block your paths, you know, your doorways and your windows, and go up. You want to be up. You want to go high. You don't want to be on the ground floor. So if you can get into your attic, that's probably the best place to be, because zombies can't climb particularly well. So if you're going to do any storing of supplies and stuff, attics are probably good. Now, let's see if Paul is going to join me again. Paul?
Hello. Hello.
Finally. What happened?
Zombies in the machine. What can I say?
Zombies in the machine, I see. So we're talking about going high. You're okay, you're on the 3rd floor.
Yeah, I am. I'm on the 3rd floor. I'm fine. I can get to the zombies' heads a lot better than they can get to mine.
You can stand there from above and just like either shoot them or bop them in the head with your baseball bat.
Yep, that's it entirely. Yep.
Now, if you can't barricade yourself in, you've got to get out of town. And if you haven't got a car, because I don't drive, so looking at cars and stuff that's no good to me. I've got to hike it. I'll be on foot. So
well, no, you could always hotwire a car.
If you knew, again, see, a little bit of prep before you make out, before the services go down. I was talking about this in the break while you was off doing whatever it was you were doing.
Fixing my computer.
Fixing the computer. I said, before you leave your house, you must do so before the services go down, like the internet and the phone lines and stuff, it's worth doing some research. Like quick routes out of town, local warehouses, all that kind of thing. Where you could supply a gun and ammunition, and not just in your locality, but, further out as well. Mark it all down on your map that you've bought yourself. And, so another thing is, like you say, routes out of town.
Yeah.
And you must be fit. Because, like I said, for me, hotwiring a car, how to hotwire a car, things like that you would need to research.
See, to me, for me, it'd be quite easy to escape because I've got marshland to the south of me. So I could just literally go out the door, head towards the marshland because it's going to be an easy place to protect yourself. Because the zombies are going to get stuck in the marshes and stuff.
Wouldn't you get stuck in the marshes too, though?
No, because I know the route around it.
Oh, okay. Well, Richard says you can't hotwire a modern car. Is this true?
Do you know what? I really don't know.
He's probably right, actually.
Yeah, very possibly.
In all honesty.
Well, we'll steal a classic then. It's not a problem.
Oh, my goodness. You'd have to pick which car you're going to hotwire. That's going to be like, you need to know an awful lot of information before you leave your home, wouldn't you? You need to be a mechanic and you need to be, a survival expert.
Yep. Well, I've got the survival expert done. I've done that. I've done years of scout training. So I've got that bit.
You're going to be all right. I might take you with me then.
I'll be fine, yeah.
You're going to be almost a little bit like Eugene.
Who?
In The Walking Dead.
Isn't he the useless one?
He's not useless. He's got loads of information stored in that little brain of his.
Okay, yeah, that'd be me.
He's the one that knows how to make bullets.
Oh, yeah, definitely me.
Isn't he?
Yeah.
And batteries out of coins and stuff.
Yeah, I could do all that.
He's
That's easy.
He's quite a clever one.
Yeah, that'd be me. I'd be well away there, I tell you.
So we would actually be protecting you with our beat-em-up skills, whilst you have the brains.
Yeah, that sounds fine to me.
Well, Richard has said it would have to be at least pre-2000. Oh, my goodness. You have to work out your registration numbers.
Yeah. So, with the old registration plates.
Yeah. Right, so you need to be quite fit if you're going to attack zombies. So you need cardio and strength workouts before you leave.
Yep, for
Make sure you've got the endurance to run through and beat them up and have that stamina.
Yep.
Now, okay. First aid. See, you would come in handy. You would come in handy, Paul.
Yeah.
But if your friend has been infected or bitten, then your first aid skills aren't really going to work. You're going to have to chop a leg or arm or whatever it is off.
Well, again, still the first aid knowledge would come in handy with that, because you could quite easily do that.
And then it's the aftercare.
Yeah, because you would have the knowledge of the anatomy.
Right, now if you have come face to face with a zombie, you always go for decapitation.
Yeah.
There's no point chopping an arm or a leg off. They might slow them down, but it's not going to kill them. So decapitation. If you can,
it could be quite funny though.
What?
Well, if you start cutting off limbs, it'd just be funny. Them trying to reach you with just their jaw.
If you've got enough time to have fun with zombies, then you're a bit of a psychopath.
Well, yeah, you got to pass your time somehow, haven't you?
But you can cripple them enough to give yourself time to escape. But if you're going to go for the kill, you've got to go for the kill.
Yeah.
Quite frankly. Now, there's nothing worse than taking on a zombie invasion, not just one or two zombies, but a zombie invasion, all on your own. So you do need to have a crew, at least 2 more people with you. But avoid large groups. You don't want too many people with you.
Yeah, do you know what? I think it was The Walking Dead when they had the big herd of zombies coming towards them, and they were in 2 cars and had a bit of rope across from one car to the other.
Yes,
and they drove
was awesome.
And took them all out. That was really good. I'd want to do that. That'd be on my list of things to do before I'm zombified.
A list of things to do. How to kill zombie 101. So when you're looking for your buddies, you want someone strong, smart, resourceful, courageous. At the same time, slow and not so bright buddies will make for perfect zombie bait and give you a better chance to escape unharmed, which we decided on earlier. Now, if one of your friends becomes infected, you've got to man up. You've got to kill them, and you kind of have to. And if you get infected, you have to expect them to do that same service to you.
Absolutely.
But how to dispose of said body? You can't just leave them laying around, apparently.
No, you'd have to cut the head off.
You've got to cut their head off.
Or destroy the brain. Either one.
Yeah, cut head off, destroy the brain. It's that sort of thing. Now, there are certain things that you don't forget to do. You don't ever split up from your buddies. Once you've surrounded yourself with your right crew, you don't split up from them. They're your best chance of survival.
Yep.
You must remember to check all the areas in a house.
Mm-hmm.
If you're going into a house, that is, or location. Check it all. Make sure there's no hidden zombies in wardrobes or under beds, because they will jump out at you when you think you're safe.
Well, they will. But I mean, if you think about it, before that person became a zombie or got bitten, they could be hiding from the zombie that infected them initially. So they'd be hiding in cupboards and under beds and stuff.
But
so
you have to check
bitten,
this. This is one of the things you can't forget to do. You must check your location thoroughly before relaxing and thinking you're safe.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay? You then must remember to secure all the doors around you.
Yep, don't leave them open.
Not just doors, but windows too.
Don't nip off for a cornetto.
No nipping off for cornettos.
No.
Don't get careless. Can't get careless in a zombie apocalypse. You have to live on your nerves all the time.
Yep, that you do.
And you're not allowed to get reckless either.
No.
And last but not least, don't forget to put gas in your car.
Well, yeah, because you won't go very far without it, will you?
There was a lot less rules to how to survive a zombie apocalypse, I have to say, than there was about how to survive a horror movie.
See, what I want to know is, right, in The Walking Dead, for example, who cuts their grass? Because everyone's zombies.
People that live there when they're not filming Walking Dead, clearly.
Well, yeah, but it's sort of destroying the continuity, isn't it? The film, the programme.
I don't care. I don't look at things like that. I'm too busy perving.
Nature's nature will start taking over our roads and stuff.
That's
and
true.
The grass will be growing, but it never grows in The Walking Dead.
No, because they film it in like a lovely little town. They
Yeah,
film
well,
a lot of it in a town.
They should let it grow now.
Well,
That's
can't.
my only bugbear with that show.
Well, I don't care. You're bugbear. I love that show.
I do.
I am so excited for season 8 coming up. I'm actually working my way through all the seasons of Walking Dead as we speak.
Only another
Not
94
right this second,
days,
obviously,
I think, isn't
but
it?
at some point. And I am more partial to a zombie than I am a horror. You know, Zombie Pride and Prejudice was awesome.
No, it wasn't. It was rubbish.
See, you didn't like that. I loved that. That was 2 of my favourite things in one movie. What's not to love about that?
Everything. It was so boring.
I loved that movie.
I
could
watched
watch that
about
movie
20
time and time
minutes.
again. It was perfect. I loved it.
I watched 20 minutes and thought to myself, what a load of rubbish this is.
I actually I was the one who actually said to you, "Oh, you got to watch it. It's
Yeah,
great." And
you
was
did.
like, "Oh, go on then. I'll watch it."
Yep.
And
20
then
minutes in, it was
20
like,
minutes
what a
in.
load of rubbish.
Oh my goodness me!
Yeah. I gave it a good go, and that was it. No.
I don't class 20 minutes in as a good go, though. I'm just saying.
Well, it was for me.
You've sat through worse films than that.
Yeah, I suppose, but no, that was really bad.
No, I have to say, of all of them, I loved that film, and I loved The Walking Dead. I love The Walking Dead. It's my ultimate favourite. And it does show that humans are going to end up being more of a concern than zombies themselves.
I still prefer
That's very, very true. So, I hope you've all learned something from tonight's show of how to survive a zombie apocalypse.
Yep, they'll all be knocking on my door going, we want you to come with us.
Let's stay. So we're going to end the show on a few quotes from my favourite show, which is The Walking Dead. We hope you've enjoyed this little pop-up episode. Who
Kerry,
knows what our next pop-up show is going to be? Who knows?
I do.
Go on then. What is it?
We're going to do reality of sci-fi and science.
Oh, God, that's a whole day's research, isn't it?
No, it's about 20 minutes research. We all started it the other night.
Okay, well, listen out for that. I'm not sure when that's going to happen.
We started it with Prometheus and the science behind Prometheus.
And these are films I haven't seen. So anyway,
so
keep your ears open.
As soon as Kerry's watched them all.
Yeah, it might take me a few weeks to work my way through it. So listen out for that pop-up show. We're not sure when that's going to come to you, but we're going to end tonight on a few quotes from The Walking Dead. We hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for joining us, and good night.
Good night, everybody.
First time I saw a walker, it was just half a body snapping at me from the ground, and my inclination wasn't to kill it. But what the world is out there isn't what you saw on TV. It is much, much worse, and it changes you. Either into one of them, or something a lot less than the person you were.
I used to not want to see the way things are. It's not that I couldn't. It's that I didn't want to. But this is what life looks like now. We have to see it. We have to fight it. If we don't fight,
why?
We die.
Why now? I thought we worked this all out. We just had to kill each other, man. What you think? We're just gonna forget about it all? We're gonna ride off into the sunset together? Damn you for making me do this shit. This was you, not me. You did this stuff. This was you, not me. Not me. Not me. You're gonna feel pretty stupid when you find out. Find out what? people. Stop! Carl! No! Lauren! Hold on. Everyone! Get back! Get into your house and go! No more kid stuff. People are gonna die. I'm gonna die. Mom. There's no way you can ever be ready for it.
Thank you for listening. Don't forget to join us for more shows throughout the week. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and the World Wide Web to keep up to date with all the shows right here on Parasearch Radio.